And I want to say greetings. I want to welcome everybody. This is our first Tuesday. Unfortunately, last week my schedule got crazy busy and I was not able to attend. Our first Tuesday, I am going to add an extra Tuesday on at the end of the session so we're not missing any of the components of the detox, reboot, rejuvenation that I had told everyone to expect. So, we are having a gathering this evening. I want to focus this evening on the 11 stages of the detox. And I'm hoping everybody will take notes. We will have this recording available for the playback. The 11 stages of the detox. I am not saying that you absolutely have to follow any hard protocol. Yet, I am speaking from experience. I've done seasonal detox fasting, probably somewhere between 80 and 90 different times. I know I've been doing it for at least 20 years, 4 times a year, most of the time, 28 days each seasonal detox. I have done them as short as 3 to 5 days, and I have done 2 fasts, one of 40 days liquid only and 42 days liquid only. So we have this range. So it's not hard, but I can assure you, this is quite thorough. It's quite effective. It is undeniably life transforming. So before we get started with that lesson today, I just want to open up for a few minutes while we have the recorder going and ask everybody to please report to us, how is your seasonal, how is your detox, reboot, rejuvenation going so far? This is day 12, so now we're actually through the halfway point. Anybody speak up?
Yeah, this is Dwight. I'm on day 8. Last night I felt a little uncomfortable. I remember you mentioning about headaches. I had a headache, and I don't normally get headaches. I'm thinking, what is this? And I had some ringing in my ear, and I was a little alarmed because, it was night and I wasn't feeling quite right. But I did the juice holding it sublingually, as
Mm-hmm.
I also then the salt, and I repeated it, and eventually all those symptoms did subside, but I was a little uncomfortable. I was thought, okay, if I crash here, what can I grab to eat that won't mess up my GI track, because it's been empty for 7 days, because I was feeling rather uncomfortable. So the people that are new at this, you have to have your materials already set up and know how to respond and what to do. Thanks to you and telling me about, the electrolytes and the salt on your tongue, and taking a little juice and holding your tongue. That was kind of like the first time I held it, and it went in faster to the bloodstream,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to just, drinking it down.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't know how to respond, because I was really uncomfortable last
Mm-hmm.
night. It was kind of late. I was up and down all night, really.
So you could walk, there was no dizziness?
Some slight dizziness. I was kind of creeping real slow. Yeah, there was some dizziness there, because I was thinking, you said always go low if I, get that. And I was thinking that, but I was, alone, and I was kind of uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Now,
And then
how much water had you been drinking?
probably not enough. I've been pushing it more today, because a friend told me that I must not be drinking enough water.
That's where the headaches come from.
Oh, okay.
The
I keep,
headaches come from your body digesting fat tissue, what they call adipose tissue, the fat cells. That's the third stage of energy consumption. It's called ketosis, Ketosis. For those of us who intend to lose weight, that's where the weight loss is. Until we get to ketosis, the weight's not going to be coming off. So you have been taking off quite a bit of weight. So you're burning up your body fat. Can you see your body fat is disappearing around your midsection?
yes, slowly. It's disappearing slowly.
Mm-hmm. And then the weight of it is what's the weight is coming off. How much weight how much has your weight declined since you committed? You say you're on your 8th day of the commitment?
9 pounds.
So 9 pounds in the first 7 days, right?
Yes.
That's pretty
Yes.
doggone good. Have you ever taken off weight at that rate before?
No.
Yeah. All
But
right. Well,
I also learned I shouldn't share my fasting with anybody because they are very discouraged and telling you, oh, I'm so concerned about you. Are you sure you know what you're doing? And it's kind of annoying, you know.
well, but then you could say to them, were you concerned about me when I was overweight, approaching obesity? Now that I'm approaching normal and you're in the green zone now, am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now that you are in the green zone, the normal range, people are worried about you. Come on, people, think logically. You're thinking emotionally. I want you to start thinking logically because I am acting logically. Now, people don't say that to me. I have heard people say, well, if you eat all this superfood and do all this stuff, why do you still detox? And I think that's a very fair and legitimate question. I says the reason I detox is because I bathe in city water. I inhale city air. I walk
Yeah.
around in public touching surfaces that other people have touched. So I have to detox my body from time to time because the toxins store up in my fat cells and my body fat cells. When we do our detox, we get rid of that body fat, but the toxins come off at the same time. And if we are not drinking sufficient water, the toxins being released from our body fat will cause headaches. People will say, well, I was doing it, but I started to feel like I had the flu, so I stopped. And I have to tell them, you stopped at the very point that your body was starting to react positively to the program you were implementing. So then you stopped and went back and put the poison back in.
Right. They get scared because I was a little uncomfortable last night,
Mm-hmm. But you knew
because
what to expect.
yes, thanks to you, and I knew what to do. And that's what the other students need to know. They know how to respond.
That's right.
But it was hair raising because I'm like, this headache. I'm like, what the heck? But you go through it.
Yeah, yeah. And drink water. Whenever anybody has a headache, your first remedy is H2O, water. So good points. Thank you very much for sharing that. Anybody else? Any comments? Any question? How has your experience gone so far? You getting any results? Please do speak up.
Is there any combination of foods that accelerate um, body fat loss, or is it?
There are foods that sustain weight loss, but think about the logic of your question. Eating to lose weight. Now,
Yeah.
the thing about it is, here's a simple formula for losing weight while eating. Simple formula. You reduce your caloric input, that's called caloric restriction. Write that down, CR. While at the same time you're reducing your caloric input, you're increasing the quality of the 8 classes of essential nutrients. Now, if you can do that and combine it with vigorous exercise, then you can eat and lose weight. But the only way you're going to be losing weight is when the equation of calories going in the form of most of the calories are coming in the form of carbohydrates, some from protein. The only way you lose weight is when the calories coming in are less than the calories that go out in the form of energy expenditure. So there are certain foods that support it. It depends on how much weight you want to lose and how fast you want to lose it. I can show you how to do it at whatever rate you can tolerate.
Okay.
Let me answer the question. How much weight do you want to lose? At what rate?
Well, that's kind of a for me. I don't necessarily. I guess you can't do one without the other because I would like to lose body fat, but at the same time, I don't necessarily want to decrease a lot of body weight. And I know that's so I guess in a sense, I would have to implement the exercise regimen in order to counteract the loss of fat, which is the loss of weight with maybe the gain of muscle through the working out.
So you want to lessen your body fat and increase your muscle mass.
Yeah, exactly.
That is doable. One of the quick ways people do that is take steroids.
Oh no, no, not that way.
Yeah, and those people who take the steroids and do that, they do that on a seasonal basis. They do steroids and they do dehydration. Their life expectancy is decreased by 14 years for doing that.
Wow.
Let me ask you this.
Mhm.
What kind of muscle mass are you seeking?
Well, I'm not necessarily if I could stay the same size, but because I am at about at 33%, 34% body fat, and I carry it all in my waist. But it's so my stomach when I wear clothes, it doesn't really protrude because I've always worked out and I've got semi-broad shoulders and chest. But if I take my shirt off, then it's it's visible because it's all around my waist. And it's been that way for a long time.
Now, when you poke your finger in your stomach, is it hard or is it soft?
Soft.
It's blubbery. Is it blubber outside the muscle or is it inside the muscle? Does it have a tendency to hang over your belt?
No. My
There
wife
are two,
said yeah. I said no. My wife said yeah.
well, if she's right, then you're lucky. If you're
Okay.
right, then you're in trouble.
Okay.
So she better be right.
Okay. Do tell. I'm listening.
There are two types of fat that hang around the stomach.
Mm-hmm.
One is called, write these down, subcutaneous
So.
fat or subcutaneous adipose tissue. Adipose means fat cells.
Uh-huh.
And then the other type of fat is called visceral adiposity. Visceral means guts. That means that the fat is inside your pelvic cage and your rib cage. That's why I say when you poke your belly, is it hard or is it soft? If it's soft, that's subcutaneous fat that has a tendency to hang with gravity. If it's hard, that's the visceral adiposity. That means it's inside your rib cage and it's pressing on all your organs. And that is associated with pathologies, including most of the time it's associated with metabolic syndrome, which means you're probably having problems with the liver, with your cholesterol, with your sugar levels, hypertension, any of those? Are you having any issues with any of those?
No, sir.
Okay. So so in that case, it's just a matter of if it's not, if it's hard, again, it's inside the rib cage. Now, I can usually tell if you want to put your camera on and stand up, pull up your shirt, I can tell you what it is. I mean, it's just a little bit embarrassing, but I would rather know because not knowing that a person is suffering from visceral adiposity leaves you vulnerable to sudden cardiac arrest. And you do not want sudden cardiac arrest. Okay, now tell me your age.
52.
52. Okay, and you've got a gynomastia going on too.
What's that?
Man boobs.
Oh, yeah.
Have they always been like that when you were 32?
No, because once we moved to Atlanta, my diet and workout just went out the window, and so that's been about like 6, 7 years since I
Or
worked out.
have you been consuming a lot of chicken and dairy, meaning
Uh,
cheese and milk and ice cream and all of that dairy, all the dairy and chicken? They're loaded with female hormones. That's where the gynecomastia comes from. Write that word down. Look it up. I want you to do your research. So you want the boobs to disappear and turn into pecs, right?
right, yes.
You want the boobs to disappear and to turn into pecs. You're going to have to stop consuming female hormones to do that.
Okay, so yeah, I stopped all meat like when you did the man up.
Good,
So
good, good.
so
And
but before then it was everything pretty much except for the chicken. Really
okay.
was never much a chicken eater, but all the dairy, yeah, yeah.
And turkey is the same as chicken too.
Oh well, yeah.
hmm Um,
And the whey proteins,
yeah, you don't want to take whey protein. That's dairy.
right?
If
Yep.
you're going to be taking any protein supplements, I would recommend wait until your weight gets in the range that you wanted to be in before taking protein supplements, because that's going to stop your weight loss. Now, you don't need to take protein supplements to build up muscle mass. Mm-mm. Now, the muscle mass that you want, you're talking about you want this stuff. Am I correct?
Well,
Not
yeah,
not what not me, because I'm very lightweight.
I,
But you're talking about, brothers walking around like that.
no, 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 no. I just want everything to come into alignment and kind of like meet,
You want a
yeah,
V shape?
and just meet in the middle where it, in a healthy format. I'm not
Yeah.
that. Some of that is unhealthy.
When we're young, going into our prime childbearing ages, healthy males have a V shape. Their shoulders are wider than their waists. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Right.
Then, as we mature into eating and the children get a little older and we get a little bit slower, the V turns into more shaped like an H.
Yeah.
Then, for too many of us, the H starts to begin to be an A, whereas the
Uh-huh.
midsection is competing for width with the shoulders. So you're not doing too bad for 53. I've seen 38-year-old brothers that wish they could look like you. But at the same time, you are my little brother. And I want you to see the healthiest you as you're moving into your senior years. I'm
Yeah.
having the healthiest time since I was under age 40. I'm healthier than I was at age 40. So that's what we want to do. I mean, I could just show you an example. Now, I'm lightweight. I'm very lightweight, and I'm very comfortable, and I'm very strong at this weight. But if you look at me, and I can pull mine up, there's no man boobs, none at all. And if we look on the sideways, I'm not sucking it in. This is me normal. Okay. Now,
Right.
if I flex up and if I do my morning cores and flex up, rub a little oil on it, then I can flex, even though there's a little bit of loose skin that folds out, but that comes with the territory. So I'm going to recommend three things. Number one, take the weight off steadily.
Yeah. Hmm.
Take it off steadily. No, no ups and downs, no roller coasters. No, I'm doing it good for 1, 2, 3 days. Now for the several days, I'm just going to just cast my fate to the wind or fall off the wagon, as people say. Number two, describe your core exercise routine.
Describe it.
Your core. You have a core routine?
That would be a no.
Yeah. Core routine is working on from the top of the hips through
Hmm.
to the top of our top of the rib cage. That's the core. Meaning, oh, here I am. Sorry about that. Core is working on this. For me, every morning I have a core. And right now, because I'm in a detox season, every 2 days I add 5 reps to my core. I begin with lying flat on my back. I bring my knees to my chest and then extend them out without touching the surface. I do 100. Normally, my normal is 150 of those a day, except on weekends, I do 100. Give myself a little bit of a break. Now that I'm on my detox, I'm up to 175. I did that today. Tomorrow, I'll do 175, and then I do go to 180. By the end of the 28 days, I'll be at 225. The second core is laying flat again, my hands folded like this under the small of my back
Oh yeah.
to support my backbone, because those kind of exercises can be hard, especially if you're not on a soft surface. You can do these in the bed or on a mat. But I do that. I on both of those first 2 exercises, my hands are under the small of my back, protecting my vertebra, and I do 175 90-degree leg lifts, laying flat, just legs lifting 90 degrees, right? And then the third one, I do sit-ups. My hands across my chest, and then doing sit-ups, 175 today. So that is my core. Now that brings me to sweat. It takes me about exactly 20 to 25 minutes, depending on where in the detox I am, because I will add over the course of 28 days an extra. I'll go from 150 normal to 225 normal. I add an extra 75. That kind of a core, I've been doing that for 3 or 4 years, keeps that core tight, keeps it real tight.
Gotcha.
So what do you think? You don't have to start with those huge numbers like I am. Start in a reasonable area. Push yourself a little bit, but don't try and get huge numbers the first few days. It can cause a lot of stress and pain and soreness and inflammation in the muscles and make you not want to continue doing it.
Right. Okay. Got it.
How's that sound? Does that sound reasonable?
It's doable. Absolutely.
All right. All right. Anybody else got a question you want to ask before I go into the lesson for today?
Yeah, and I want to drop 50 pounds.
Okay. Do you have a date when you want that to be completed by?
I would like to do it. I know it's pretty fast to do it in a month, but I guess 2 months is more realistic. But I don't mind doing it in 30 to 40 days.
It can be done. I would suggest for 50 pounds, reasonably give yourself 60 days.
Okay.
That's taking off, averaging what? That would be 5, 6, that would be 0.8 pounds per day. Now, the first few days that you really commit to it, in fact, the first week, look at what Dwight has been able to do. Dwight, you did what, 9 pounds in 8 days or so?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
8 pounds in 7 days, something like that?
Yes. Yeah, because I'm 202.5, so that's 8 plus 1 is 9 pounds.
Good.
3.5.
So it's not impossible to do it.
Oh, yeah.
You do have to realize that losing weight at that rate, you got to be aware of whatever surprises. You can take off 5 pounds by day after tomorrow by water fasting and combine it with exercise. Whenever you're doing your weight loss, exercise is absolutely a must. There are several types of exercise. The fastest weight loss exercise is called high impact interval training, HIIT. You're familiar with the HIIT?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever tried it out?
Oh, yes, sir. I used to do a lot more, but I play a lot of basketball, except for this last month that I told you I gained the 20 pounds. I hurt my knee, stopped playing ball, but we play ball almost every day for hours. That's
okay.
In itself, but I know about running around the track, and then you walk a little bit, then you sprint, then you might do jumping and stuff like that. So yeah, I like HIIT training also.
Good. And exercise where you sweat and you breathe real heavy and your heart rate goes up. Those are the fastest weight loss. I know if I do HIIT, and I'm not doing it right now because I'm where I've just moved to, I will weigh myself before going out and then 20 minutes later come back in and an extra pound is gone.
Yeah.
Part of that extra pound is water, and I have to rehydrate. And that's also a critical point about the whole process, because when we're sweating like that, we're getting toxins out at a very fast rate. And that is always good for freeing the body from these things that have come to kind of hold the body down, hold it in kind of toxic slavery. So 50 pounds in 60 days, when do you want to begin?
Oh, I'm starting today because I've done it before on my own program. But what
Mm-hmm.
helped out was I probably used to walk like maybe 5 miles a day, and I played
Wow.
ball, and I was just everywhere. I was on my bike and walking and running, and it was summertime, and I dropped
Mm-hmm.
it fast. And
All
my program
right.
is exactly what you're talking about. I start off water for the first 3 days, then it's mostly fruits and vegetables, and then all the unnatural foods, all of that is gone, and the weight just comes right off.
Awesome. Awesome. Hey, we're all pulling for you, man.
Oh, cool, cool. And that's why I'm really doing this. It's for accountability,
Mm-hmm.
because I started myself, start working, and you give yourself excuses and stuff. But my clients deserve to see me, doing it first.
Man, that's the right spirit. That's the right attitude. Congratulations, my brother. We're all
Oh,
pulling for you. You're going to
oh,
get
it's
100% success on this program.
perfect, perfect.
Awesome. And unless anybody else has any questions, I'm going to go in. I'm going to share the screen. You have a question?
Yeah, I think I'm supposed to do the olive oil guzzle tomorrow. Do I take the laxatives before or after
You
the olive
take
oil?
them 1 hour before. I'm going to go through all that right now.
Okay.
Latricia, did you have any questions? I know you're there in the background watching your man do his thing.
No, I'm anxious to hear the rundown that you're getting ready to do.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I'm going to share screen and I'm going to go to my Microsoft Word, and you tell me when you can see my screen. And we are in read mode. Let me quickly go here. Bear with me. It froze. Can you hear me right now? Can anyone hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we
can
can
hear
hear you.
you.
Okay, my screen froze here. Bear with me. I have to hit a reset button. If I get thrown out, I'll jump right back in. And unfortunately, Microsoft and Zoom do not necessarily get along real well. And now my whole laptop is frozen. I'm going to give it just a few more seconds.
Yeah, that just happened to me a few minutes ago.
Yeah. Did you have to reboot everything?
Yeah, I had to close the Zoom and open it back up.
Yeah, I saw you drop out for a second. And I just hit alternate control delete, and that didn't even come up. So bear with me. Dwight, you can address anybody's questions or comments. I'll be back. Should take me about 1 minute to do a cold start.
Okay.
All right.
Anybody have any?
Everybody put Dwight to the test, certified.
Oh, God. Okay. I'm listening. Anybody have any questions or a discussion? Because,